Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, based on where you are. I'm currently on the Pacific Standard Time, so I'm pretty sure it's about 9 in the morning. It's East Coast time, and Central Standard Time, and then 10 East Coast time, and so on and so on. So, the last video I did on my Journey to Me challenge was dealing with my spirituality and how all that got started. And pretty much since then, I've gone even further and I picked up books about African civilization and the beginning of Christianity and spirituality in general. And it's pretty amazing, like the things that you find when you're researching. And a part of that research really started from my DNA test results, which I did want to make a video about. So this is pretty much what that's about. And it said that my highest percentages of my ancestors were from Ghana and Cameroon. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So I started like researching all the religions of those two cultures. And then of course there were some of the other cultures in there as well, like Nigeria, like 1% like Irish or something like that. But to me, the biggest ones were the ones that were pretty much, spoke out loud and clear. Hey, your family is from Africa. I used to have this saying growing up. I was like, I didn't come here on a slave ship, but in reality, someone from my family did. And that is interesting to connect to, when you're searching for your identity, whether it be spiritually or, the connection of where it all began for yourself. And for me, I've been on this journey to finding out who I am and where I come from for a long time. But this was the first year I finally took my DNA test last year in December. I want to say it was November or December. But it was definitely December when I got my test results back. So it was pretty exciting to find that out. And I still have the app on my phone so I can reference the parts of Africa and everything like that. And then, of course, I'm going to have some cousins twice removed in there somewhere for the other cultures and backgrounds of information that I found. But those were the two biggest ones that stood out to me. So I've definitely been researching what I can about the traditions of those two cultures. Of course, I want to know everything there is to know about those two cultures. So I have a lot of African history books now. I just got another one in yesterday about the African creation story, and I'm expecting some more throughout the rest of the week. It's actually a lot of fun reading all this, especially when it comes to spirituality, because my whole life I grew up in a Christian home. My mom is a prophetess, as I said in my last video, and my dad is a preacher. And then I was, once upon a time, a licensed minister. And it was interesting because I had a passion for like teaching about God and stuff growing up. And I always questioned. I said, well, where did God come from, and where did this come from? And there was no way that it was just two men and women that birthed the entire society. I always had these questions, and I always felt like that I needed more answers than what I was just being given growing up. And it was always, I was always told to just, go and read my Bible and have faith and all that stuff like that. But the older I got, I guess somewhere along the lines I got a little disconnected, because in my search for answers, it was like, people tend to shy away from you when you start questioning all that stuff. They're like, oh, you just gotta have faith, you just gotta believe. But I think questions are a good thing. I don't think questions, when you are questioning, I don't think you should be silenced. I think when you're asking questions about history, you want to know more, because you know for a fact that before slavery, there was something. And it's not always addressed, because usually in school, when it comes to Black history or African American history, it starts with slavery. They don't teach you about the religion before that. They don't teach you about your about the traditions of your ancestors. They don't teach you, like, I know in my research from what I've learned so far, that Africans used to pray to their ancestors. And they used to do it several times a day, or they used to pray several times a day. And some of the cultures, and then some of them, they had the supreme creator And that was pretty interesting because it's like I started questioning. Then I said, well, what was so wrong about their religion that people who took over their lands felt like they had to impart Christianity versus them worshiping their own version of God, you know? Because ultimately that's exactly what it was. It was the supreme creator, and then some of them felt like there were other, other gods and stuff underneath him. And that's an interesting concept to me because in a lot of, like, even in like Native Native Americans, they have, their gods, and it's more than one God because they're all under the supreme creator. There's one ultimate God that did everything, and then he had people that went out and he gave orders to, well, the other gods and stuff like that. And so far that's where I'm at, like, in my research of African religion. And there's multiple ones, which is interesting to me. There's multiple, and then they have so many different names for God. And so far I like what I'm learning. I do talk a lot about it on my Facebook page, and I'll post some of the comments, or I guess I'll screenshot some of the statements that I've made or the discoveries that I've made so far. And I like it because I like what I'm learning. I like the journey that I'm on spiritually to finding out my true identity, of where it all started, whether I choose to worship the gods of my ancestors from Cameroon or the ones from Ghana. To me, it's all going to come together in the end because I want to know more. I want to know more than what was just passed down through slavery and breaking away from tradition. Like, I told my husband, I said, I'm sorry, but I'm no longer going to whoop our kids. Like, I don't know, it just didn't sit right after learning all the history into it. And getting into the research of where whipping started from and stuff like that. And I just didn't like it. I said there's other forms of discipline, and my whole life I was pretty much, whooped. And I said there's got to be a better way to discipline children, to get them to listen, so they won't come out and they won't, like, suppress their feelings, and they will want to talk to you, and they will want to be open, and they will know when to tell someone not to do something that they're against, or they will have an opinion, And so there's a lot more reasoning into that, but the video would go over super long. So that's pretty much just to wrap up where I'm at right now. And then, of course, I'll make some more videos, like, with my findings and stuff like that, and I'll try to do that more often. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next video as well. So God bless and have a good day. Bye.